Penn Wine and Spirits is a boutique wine and spirit shop which is located in the busiest commuter rail station in America. It stocks wines from all around the world and features a number of small vineyard wines. The staff are knowledgeable and wonderfully accessible. Forrest Payne is the general manager. And first of all, Forrest, what a great wine shop. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So tell us about Penn Wine and Spirits.
We have been here for the last year and a half, but prior to that, it's been over 16 years since there's been a wine and spirits store here in Penn Station.
You have some great wines here. Tell us the regions and the countries and what sort of wine you carry.
We are working on covering the whole world. We have all of the primary wine producing regions, and we are always looking for discovery wines from off the beaten path regions as well. So we're slowly filling in our offerings to really reflect what's going on all over the world.
So let's talk about the trends with wines throughout New York City.
Well, what I see is a more educated wine consumer just in general. So as people become more knowledgeable about the different regions around the world, it makes it even easier for us to steer them to some more obscure things. And it's exciting in that regards too, that people come in and they're looking for different varietals as far as things that are really are in vogue these days. There's definitely a lot of attention on some of the South American and Spanish emerging winemaking areas in those countries. And a lot of focus on organic, sustainable sort of wines as people become more health conscious. So that's definitely a trend that's very strong these days.
What's your favorite wine right now?
I just got back from Tuscany from harvest just last fall. And so I've been exploring some of the smaller regions around Italy and familiarizing myself more with Italian wines. But I do love the old country wines, such as France and Italy.
What about local wines, say from around New York State?
We have a great booming industry here in New York, and it's gaining a lot of attention around the world as it becomes more mature, as the vines have been around longer and as expertise increases. 3 predominant wine regions in New York: Long Island in our own backyard, doing some great wines out there. I'm a big fan of the Finger Lake wines up north, and then of course the Hudson Valley region, just a couple hours north of the city here, are making some really standout wines also.
How do they then compare with wines from, say, California? Because the whole world knows about the Californian wines from Napa Valley, Sonoma, and then up towards Seattle area, Washington State. So how do the wines from this part of the world compare to those other wines?
Well, the industry in this area is much younger, and really even on the west coast of the United States, those areas have really only gained international recognition since the 60s and early 70s. So the United States in general is a very young wine drinking country, and they are starting to catch up with the old world countries in Europe as far as adding wine into their basic daily, like to have with their meals each day. And so as far as New York, it's just a matter of time. As the industry grows and becomes more mature, the rest of the world will realize more and more that we do have great wines here from the East Coast as well.
There are just so many wines in the store, and it's not a really big store. So how do you decide what to stock, what to sell?
Well, that's number one. We, as a staff, taste everything that we bring in.
Fantastic.
We're not basing anything. Yeah, we can cut you in. Research is part of the fun, but it's also very important. We don't base our selections on the latest Robert Parker or Wine Spectator scores, because those are just scores based on a few palates. We know our customers very well, and we pick out wines specifically to make sure that we have something to offer to everyone.
If somebody wants to find out more about Penn Wine and Spirits, how do they do that?
Well, certainly we have a website, and it's pennws.com. You should definitely check that out. We are constantly updating our information and links available on the website to steer you towards informational sources. As a store, we are very education focused. We want to develop a relationship with our shoppers and find out how they're liking our suggestions and really try to steer them towards specific wines and develop that person-to-person, unpretentious, just let's talk about wine and figure out what you like and go forward and all learn and experience wines, because there's so much to experience, obviously. We do a lot of corporate catering accounts and choosing wines for events. We have an outside sales staff. We do a lot of custom orders and ship wine all across the United States.
Besides the website, whereabouts are you?
Well, we're right here in Penn Station. This is the busiest train station in the U.S. It's pretty much the gateway to New York via train. And we are below the famous Madison Square Gardens.
And finally, what's your favorite wine at the moment?
Well, my tastes change daily almost. I'm a
Well, you got so
variety
many
nut.
wines here, yeah.
And we have so many great wines around the store to offer that it's easy to jump all around the world and pick different wines each week. Lately, I've been drinking a lot of the 2005 Rhone Valley French wines, such as Chateauneuf du Pape, some of those wines that consist of Syrah, Grenache, Mourvedre, Cinsault, Carignan, etc. '05 was just a great harvest in a lot of places in the world, especially in France. And so, yeah, we do have some great wines from France these days that I find myself taking home with me.
What more do you want in life?
Not much.
Forrest, thank you very much. What I want in life, though, just before we go, is to be locked in this shop for a weekend with cheese.
Okay.
Can you do that for me?
Yeah, we can arrange that.
Thank you. Forrest, thank you very much.
You're welcome.